Ayun, and we're live. Okay, meron pang feedback. Welcome back to Guru Pinoy. And of course, if this is your first time to watch us, please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Of course, also follow our Facebook page. You can all see the videos that we have on both YouTube and Facebook. You can also find us on Instagram, TikTok, and Laika. All these can be seen in your screen right now. But before we start with anything else, of course, let's all have our opening prayer. Samahan niyo po ako, mga kaguro.
Lord God, salamat po sa oras na ito na binigay niyo muli sa amin. Sa pagkakataon, Panginoon, salamat po sa maraming mga pagpapala at proteksyon na dulot mo sa bawat isa sa amin. At Panginoon, kami po ay humihingi ng inyong paggabay muli sa amin pong gagawin sa oras pong ito. Sana po ay marami po kaming matutunan sa mga leksyon na aming aaralin po ngayon. Patuloy po nawa na tulungan mo po kami sa aming mga pangarap, Panginoon. Ibinibigay po namin ang lahat po sa inyo, Panginoon, dahil ikaw po ang nagsabi na kung kasama ka namin sa lahat ng pagkakataon ay tunay na po na magtatagumpay po kami. Ama, sana po ay mapakinggan mo ang mga hiling po namin na ito. I-bless po ang family ni Ma'am Mek, ni Sir Ram, maging ang mga pamilya din po namin, Panginoon. Dalangin ho namin ang buong bansa namin, buong mundo na nakakaranas pa po sa pandemic. Sana po ay bumuti na ang kalagayan po namin, O Diyos. Naniniwala po kami sa inyo sa mga pangako mo sa bawat isa sa amin. Salamat po sa Panginoong Jesus na nagbulat po sa amin ng pag-asa sa buhay po na ito. Ama, ito po ang aming dalangin sa pangalan ni Jesus. Amen.
Amen. Okay, now of course we'd like to welcome back all the members of Team Gardner, our Team Thunders, Team Veterano. Welcome back po. Paki-like na po ng ating video to start a watch party. Magtag na po ng inyong friends. And of course, pinaka-importante, share po yung ating video. Okay, again, please do like this video, hit that bell notification if this is your first time to watch us. And of course, you are already subscribed to our YouTube channel and you are wondering why you are not being notified now whenever we post new videos, i-click nyo po yung bell button. Okay, nandiyan po sa YouTube. Okay, we also would like to welcome back our Team Erickson members, the new members that we have, Team Newbie, Team Bagito. Hello po, welcome back. Like this video, share this video, start a watch party, and of course, tag your friends. If you are still not a member of any of these teams, malapit na po mabuo yung ating slots. Now, hindi na po 65 slots left yan. 2 days ago, it was only 11 slots left. So I'd like to encourage everyone. So again, please join us. Basic membership, that's only GenEd and ProfEd, that's only 650. Pro membership, that's your major. That's English, or we have math, bio, there's social science, Filipino, and MAPE. Mag-enroll na po kayo, that's only 750. And of course, our premium membership, that's only 1,250. Premium would be ProfEd, GenEd, and of course, you also have your major, okay? So that's only very cheap, okay? Napaka-cheap po ng ating enrollment. Of course, we only have very few slots left. Okay, so please do not wait for the last minute. No, wala na po tayong 50% off. Mag-enroll na po kayo. I'm pretty sure that you are not going to regret the decision. Okay, all these things that I'm using in my PowerPoint presentation, you'd all have access to that. The quizzes, you're also going to have access to that. If you are going to enroll in our majorship, you are going to have access to our Google Classroom, where you have the different sets, of course, the video discussion of all your different coaches. Okay, again, we are the cheapest review online preparation that you can get for your licensure examinations for teachers. And of course, we are the best, okay? I can vouch for that. You can pay us through Palawan, Cebuana, ML, PayPal, there's Metro Bank. We also have Super Chat whenever we go live on YouTube. And also, we already have GCash, okay? So again, meron na po tayong GCash. Please do send us a message to our Facebook page for any of your questions. Okay, and of course, we are going to have your mid-review exam 2 on June 19th. So if you are going to enroll prior to that, you are going to have a chance to answer our mid-review exam 2. That's from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Philippine time, June 19th. Okay, that's a Saturday. This is our schedule, the remaining schedule that we have for this month. June 11th, that's today, we are going to have GenEd and ProfEd, total of 20 items. June 12th, 13, Filipino with Coach Abby, that's going to be tomorrow and Sunday. Now, of course, June 18th, the following weekend, we are going to have Friday, GenEd and ProfEd with Coach Max, still with me. June 19th, again, that's going to be your mid-review 2. June 20 is a rest day. June 25th, Friday, that's GenEd ProfEd. And June 26th, 27th, Coach Arian is coming back with more of your English. Okay, so again, please do take note of all the schedule that we have left. You can also find this in the pinned video that you find in our Facebook page. Okay, now we still are accepting enrollments for our CSE e-course. It's only 1,000 pesos for the first 50 enrollees. You can access all the video lessons anytime, anywhere. You can do it at your own pace. You can check your mastery. Of course, you can also check your progress. Okay, so just send us a message, whether it's going to be for the LET or whether it's going to be for your CSE. There's no problem. There's no conflict between the CSE and the LET. Just send us a message if you have any questions. Please do become our supporter. Our supporters receive their exclusive content. To my supporters, I'm going to be sending you some exclusive materials tonight. So please, tabayanan niyo po yan. No? Maraming salamat po sa ating mga supporters. There's a Become a Supporter icon or button sa ating Facebook page. So please do become our supporter. And you are going to have your exclusive content, exclusive videos, also exclusive materials. Okay? Now, also, please do send us our stars or your stars. We have a stars goal of 5,000 tonight. No, meron po tayong stars goal na 5,000. Please do help us reach that goal and complete the challenge by sending us, sharing with us your stars. That is through Facebook chat. Okay? Facebook chat whenever we go live right now po pwede po kayo mag-send ng inyong stars. Please do send us your stars to fulfill our challenge of 5,000 stars tonight. And also, you can also send us your super chat, super stickers whenever we go live on YouTube. Okay? So right now, you can also send us your super chat, super stickers on YouTube. And of course, tonight, our goal is the 20 items, 10 items for English. No, not English, for GenEd. Also, 10 items for ProfEd. Okay, so if you're ready, again, please go ahead, like this video, start a watch party, tag your friends, and do share this video. Please do share this video. Go ahead and like this video, share this video. Maraming salamat po. And tag your friends. Thank you so much for all of you who've already liked this video. Thank you so much. Again, please do send us your stars so that we can reach our goal of 5,000 stars. Okay, please share our video, mga kaguro. Maraming salamat. Maraming salamat po. All right, we start with GenEd and ProfEd. This is 10 items of GenEd, of course, 10 items of ProfEd. This would all go straight to our Gurong Pinoy teams. So again, if you are still not a member of any of our teams, just send us a message through our Facebook page. Okay, mag-message lang po kayo. We start with question number 1, general education. Which of the following is not an example of a natural satellite? Is it letter A, the moon, letter B, Sputnik, letter C, Titan, letter D, Europa? What's your answer? Number 1. Number 1 po, maraming salamat for tuning in, everyone. Ma'am Edna Ballesteros, thank you so much for sending us your stars. Maraming salamat po. Thank you for sharing our video. Ma'am Evangeline Moran, pag blurred po, just check your video settings. Nasa settings po, ma'am, dyan po nasa ibaba po ng inyong video. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Mildred Dambas, 1980, Baltazar, for your super sticker. Thank you po, Ma'am Mildred. Again, please do send us your stars and super stickers. Thank you so much po sa pangkabuhayan sa inyong pinapadala. Please do support Gurong Pinoy by sending us your stars and your super chat, super stickers. Thank you. Okay, I can see some answers now. Letter B, thank you for all of you who are tagging your friends. Mamari Lubang Salmagsano for tagging your friends. Thank you so much. Sir R.D. Canulo, nagbabalik. Maraming salamat po for tagging your friend. Watching from Zamboanga City, thank you. Nag-restart yung aking isang computer. Okay, but anyway, what's your answer for question number 1? Which of the following is not an example of a natural satellite? Okay, I can see some of your answers. And that's letter B. Karamihan sa inyo, letter B ang inyong sagot. And of course, letter B here is our correct choice. So tama po yung letter B. Sputnik, that is the correct answer for this question. Now, let's take a look at the meaning of the term satellite. Okay, yung satellite po. This is a celestial object, or that means a heavenly object, something that is in the sky, that orbits the Earth or any other planet. Okay, so, but here, in your question, you have the term natural. Okay, so that means hinahanap natin yung hindi natural. Hinahanap natin yung artificial satellite, or what we call man-made satellite. Okay, man-made satellite po yung ating hinahanap. And so your choices there again are the Moon, Sputnik, Titan, and Europa. And your correct answer, of course, would be Sputnik. Okay, so yung moon mo, we all know that the moon is the only natural satellite of the Earth. Okay, so wag niyo pong kalimutan yan, lumalabas po yan sa let. Now, what is the only natural satellite of the Earth? Your answer would be the moon. Okay, so moon po yung tamang sagot if that is a question. Now, Titan here is the second largest moon in our solar system. The largest, of course, is Ganymede, which is found as one of the moons of Jupiter. Okay, so the second largest would be Titan. Europa, or Jupiter 2, is the smallest of the 4 Galilean moons orbiting Jupiter. Okay, so siya naman yung smallest. Smallest naman itong Europa. But of course, Sputnik was the first artificial Earth satellite. It was launched into an elliptical low Earth orbit by the USSR on the 4th of October 1957 as part of the Soviet space program. As you can remember, there was a Cold War between the US and the USSR. Okay, so they had a competition. Whoever is going to be on space first, that's going to be the winner for them. Okay, so yung unang-unang nakapag-launch ng artificial satellite, of course, was Sputnik. It's USSR or Russia now, no? Sputnik yung first artificial Earth satellite. And of course, kaya naman claim ng US na they are the first man on the moon. Okay, so marami pang nagsasabi na hoax daw, no? Yung pagiging first man on the moon ng USA, hoax daw dahil marami daw evidences that it's not real. Okay, but real or not, we still believe that the first man on the moon, of course, is Neil Armstrong, an American. Okay, so this was part of their competition. But of course, for number 1, letter B is the correct choice. Letter B, kung tama ang sagot nyo, huwag kalimutang i-like yung ating video. Okay, we go to number 2. Donald is the CEO of a company and earns 3 times as much as the combined salary of his 2 vice presidents, Suzanne and Kurt. If Suzanne earns S and Kurt earns K, then how much does Donald earn in terms of S and K? Is it letter A, 3 plus S plus K? Letter B, 3 divided by the quantity S plus K? Letter C, 3 multiplied by the quantity S plus K? Or letter D, 3S plus K? What's your answer for number 2? This, of course, is a math problem or a math question. Please send me your answer as I'm still logging back to my other device. Okay. Lagay lamang po yung inyong answer dyan sa ating chat box. Babalik po ako in my other device. Please don't forget to like this video, mag-send po ng inyong stars, and of course, become a supporter if you can. Okay, what's your answer for number 2? Number 2 na po tayo. At sana ma-open na ulit yung aking device. At siya po ay nag-restart. Okay, ayun. Okay, please do send us your answers. If you need to solve, no, kumuha ng inyong papel, scratch paper, and try to solve the problem. Ay, hindi naman kailangan palang i-solve, no? So, gagawa lamang kayo ng inyong mathematical statement dyan. Kung ano yung inyong magiging equation. Okay, what do you think is the correct answer for number 2? Number two na po tayo. What is the answer? Saglit lamang po. Inaayos ko yung aking other device. Question number two, what's your answer? Again, going back to number two, Donald is the CEO. Okay, so si Donald ay isang CEO ng company and earns 3 times as much as the combined salary, okay? As much as the combined salary of Suzanne and Kurt, his 2 employees, he earns 3 times. Ayun, nakabalik na ako. Maraming salamat, okay? If Susan earns S, okay, so the salary of Susan is represented by the variable S and Kurt earns K, then how much does Donald earn in terms of S and K? Okay, so what's your answer? I can see all of your answers. Letter C. Karamihan ng sagot nyo ay letter C. Letter C po. And of course, that here is the correct answer. Okay, so 3 multiplied by the quantity S plus K. Sabi dito, he earns 3 times. He earns 3 times. So that means multiplied by 3 as much as the combined salary. By combined, we mean that's addition. Okay, combined salary of his 2 vice presidents, Susan and Kurt. Okay, so we need to add the salaries of Susan and Kurt, but after getting the sum of their salaries, you still need to multiply that by 3. Okay, so sana all no, ang laki ng kita ni Donald. Because of course, he is the CEO. Okay, siya yung pinaka-head ng company. So letter 3 here is the correct choice. Maraming salamat. Number 1 po, Ma'am Janelle, that's letter B. Letter B yung number 1 natin, Sputnik. All right, we go to number 3. Refer to the pie chart showing top fast food chains by 2015 sales. Approximately how much did McDonald's earn, rounding to the nearest billion? See letter A, $25 billion. Letter B, $36 billion. Letter C, $42 billion. Or letter D, $55 billion. Okay, what's your answer? You're also given your chart, or your pie chart, nasa gilid. What do you think is the correct answer? You're being asked for the earnings of McDonald's. Walang Jollibee, no? Jollibee pa rin tayo, mga kaguro. Okay, sabi nga nila, hindi makakasira, no, sa magandang samahan ang isang pagkakamali. Kailangan patawarin si Jollibee. This is not a paid ad. You're not paid by Jollibee, but of course, we still like Jollibee and we are still craving for Jollibee. Ma'am Angela Camacho, i-check nyo po. Hindi ko alam if you can zoom in. Hindi ba nakikita? Hindi ba masyadong malinaw? Pag screen nyo ay maliit, no? Pag nasa cellphone. Percentages, yung percentage natin dito, Taco Bell is 10%, Wendy's 10%, Burger King 10%, Subway 14%, Starbucks is also 14%, and McDonald's is 42%. Okay, it's 42. What do you think is the correct answer? Please do send us your answers. Again, please do share your stars to Gurong Pinoy. And also, please become one of our supporters if you can. Please do share this video, start a watch party, tag your friend, and share our video. Maraming salamat po for those who've already sent them their stars and of course sent their super chat, super stickers. Maraming salamat po. Please do send us your stars. Mag-send na po kayo ng inyong stars. And of course, super chat, super stickers. Okay, now some of you are answering B, meron ding C, meron ding letter D. Let's take a look at your answer, okay? Now, again, you are given this pie chart and you are given the different percentages of the different food chains that you have, okay? Iba-ibang fast food chains na meron tayo dito, okay? So, you have 10% again for Taco Bell, Wendy's is 10%, Burger King 10%, Subway is 14%, Starbucks 14%, and of course McDonald's 42%. Okay, one of the reasons here is because McDonald's is very cheap, no? Dito sa Amerika napaka-cheap po ng McDonald's. Ang iba dito ay medyo pricey. especially Starbucks, no, ganun din. Medyo pricey din siya. Pero hindi siya kasi ganun ka pricey, no, as compared to the price that we have in the Philippines. Okay, now the question here is approximately how much did McDonald's earn, rounding to the nearest billion? Okay, now it says here that 32% yung kabuang nakita ng McDonald's out of the total sales of 85 billion. You are given the total sales of 85 billion here, and 42% yan is for McDonald's, okay? And so we get 42% of 85 billion. Your answer would be $36 billion. Okay, so letter B po ang tamang sagot dito. Again, we get 42% of 85 billion. And so we multiply 85 billion, of course, that's 85 with 9 zeros, by 0.42. Okay, 0.42. Again, this is just the decimal form of 42%. And that would give us $35,700,000. Okay, so 700 million. 35,700,000,000. Okay, and of course, your question here states round it to the nearest billion. Rounding it to the nearest billion, it gives us $36 billion. Okay, so $36 billion, that's letter B. And that is the correct choice, okay? So, ilan lang yata yung nakatama, no? Maraming naligwak for question number 3. Bawi po tayo, mga kaguro. We go to number 4. A scientist is conducting an experiment on mice, seeing how their weight is affected by the volume of cheese they're given. What is the independent variable in this experiment and why? Is it letter A, the weight of the mice is the independent variable because it's being affected by the volume of cheese? Letter B, the volume of cheese is the independent variable because it's being affected by the weight of the mice. Letter C, the volume of cheese is the independent variable because it's being changed to measure the effect on weight. Or letter D, the weight of the mice is the independent variable because it's being changed to measure the volume of cheese. What do you think is the correct answer for number 4? This is part of your scientific method, category science. What's the answer? Ligwak sa number 3, no? Maraming naligwak. Okay? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot sa number 4? Maraming salamat po for all our star senders and for all of you who have already sent us your super chat, super stickers. Habol po tayo. We have a stars goal of 5,000 stars. So please do help us fulfill that challenge. No? Meron po tayong challenge of 5,000 stars. So please contribute, share with us your stars so we can complete that challenge. Maraming salamat po for those of you who have already done so. Tamang sagot for number 3, Sir Rodel Soriano, is letter B po. Letter B. That was 36 billion. Okay, ano po yung inyong sagot for number 4? Number 4, samsari ulit, no? So may A, B, C, at D. A, B, C, at D. Karamihang sagot dito ay letter... halos patas-patas, no? Halos parehas yung B, yung D at C. Nakalimutan nyo na itong independent variable nyo. This was part of your scientific method. Okay, so ayan, may nagsasagot pa rin. Remember your scientific method. When you say scientific method, this is a series of steps that is followed by your experimenter, your scientists, whenever they are conducting experiments. Okay, so we always start with observation. No? So pag sinabi mo observation, this is how you use your different senses to learn about your environment. Okay, because of observation, you'd be able to come up with your scientific question. Okay, so meron kang scientific question, your scientific problem, and it's very important that your scientific question is going to show the relationship between your variables. Okay, so dapat may katuturan, no? May sense ang inyong scientific questions. Scientific questions cannot be answered by just a yes or a no. We call a question scientific, but pag ito ay nagre-require ng experimentation. Okay, if you can only answer this by conducting experiments. So if your boyfriend, if your girlfriend would ask you, do you love me? Do you love me so much? Or how much do you love me? When someone asks you, do you love me? It is not a scientific question because you can just say yes or no. Pwede ka pa rin magsabi ng yes, no, kahit hindi mo na siya mahal, no? Ang sakit nun. And so, again, when you say scientific question, this is a question that is only answerable, that you can only answer by doing experiments. Okay, so that's your scientific question. And of course, once you already have your scientific question, the next step that you should do is you make or you do some research. Ito din yung ginawa nyo nung nag-thesis kayo. Thesis po ha, hindi po thesis. Okay, hindi po thesis, it's thesis. Okay, so nung nag-thesis kayo, nag-conduct kayo ng research. Okay, so right after you already have your scientific question, nag-conduct kayo ng research so that you can support your scientific question. Okay, so that you can come up with a very good hypothesis. Your hypothesis is your educated guess, and of course, your hypothesis is related to your scientific question because your hypothesis is the possible answer to your scientific question. Okay, and of course, your experimentation para ma-answer mo or ma-prove mo whether your hypothesis is correct or not, you need to do experiments. Okay, you need to do experimentation. And your variables here are all part of your experiments. Okay, so I will go to the different types of variables later. Now, once you are done with your experiment, of course, you already have your data, you analyze your data, you organize them. You may use charts, okay? So we've also learned about the different types of charts that you have. I've already mentioned that in several of our videos. And you analyze your data and you can write your conclusion. So usually your conclusion is a statement or a summary of whatever you have found out through your experiment. Okay, so it can either confirm or negate your hypothesis. Okay, so that's your conclusion. Now here in your question, yung question natin is, you have a scientist who's conducting an experiment on mice and how their weight is affected by the volume of cheese they're given. So what here is your independent variable and why? Okay, so some of you are answering A, others B, others C. Samut-sari. Okay, samut-sari ang inyong sagot, no? Walang mga nagkakasundo dito sa inyong sagot. Okay, so again, your question here states, the experimenter, the scientist, is trying to check how the weight is affected by the volume of the cheese they're given. The correct answer here is letter C. Okay, your independent variable is the volume of cheese. It is the independent variable because it is being changed to measure the effect on weight. Okay, so letter C here is the correct choice. Bakit letter C? Ano nga ba yung different types of variables natin? In your experiments, you have 3 types of variables. What you call independent variable, then of course you have your dependent variable and you have your control variable. Now, when you say independent variable, this is also called your manipulated variable, okay? Ito yung minamanipulate mo. Ito yung chini-change mo, okay? And so sometimes we call this as the cause. Siya yung cause na magiging isang epekto, okay? So I usually tell my students, your independent variable is the one, that variable where you use different brands of, different types of, different amounts of. Okay, say your scientific question is, what amount of water or which amount of water would make the plant grow fastest? Okay, grow the fastest. And of course, you are going to use 5 ml of water, for example, 100 ml, 500 ml, 1 liter, and so on, no? So the amount of water, you've changed that, you've manipulated that, you've used different amounts for that, and so that will be your independent variable. In our experiment a while ago, the scientist was trying to check whether the volume of the cheese given to the mice would affect the weight, okay? So that means the scientist is going to use different types of volume, okay? Different volumes of cheese. And so the cheese volume is the one that was manipulated, the one that was changed by the experimenter. And so you'd call this your independent variable. Now, the second type of your variable there is your dependent variable. Dependent variable naman by the term, no, by the word itself, it tells us it's dependent, and so it depends on your independent variable. Siya yung effect ng iyong independent variable. If you have been using different volumes of cheese, ano yung effect? And usually, this is a variable that you are measuring. Ito yung mini-measure mo, no? Ito yung pinaplot mo, ito yung magiging parte ng inyong graph, no? Magiging parte ng data mo na nasa graph mo in your research. And so in our experiment again, the scientist was using different volumes of cheese to try to find out if there is an effect to their weight. Okay, and so we know that the scientist is going to measure the weight of the different mice. Okay, so your weight there, the one that you are measuring, the one that is the effect of your independent variable, that was the cheese in this case, that is called, of course, your dependent variable. Now, the third type of variable that we have here, it's your controlled variable. Sometimes it's also called your constant. Ito naman yung different factors that you keep constant. These are the different factors that you don't change in your experiment. Why or bakit? No, because in a very good experiment, if your experiment would be valid, if you'd want your experiment to be valid, to be true, to be exact, you should only have one independent variable. Dapat isa lamang yung independent variable mo para maging valid yung results ng inyong experiment. So that if there's going to be a change, if there's going to be some dependent variable that you need to measure, you can say that your dependent variable was actually caused by your independent variable dahil mag-isa lamang yung independent variable mo. So the rest of your variables, the rest of the factors should be kept constant para maging valid yung inyong experiment. So say in this experiment that we have, dapat pare-parehas yung species ng mouse mo, dapat pare-parehas yung age ng mouse mo when you started, no? Hindi po pwedeng mas matanda yung isa, hindi po pwedeng iba yung species ng isang mouse mo, no? Dahil if that happens, that is going to surely affect the validity of your experiment, the validity of your test. And so the rest of the variables should be kept constant so that your experiment would be valid, okay? A good experiment should only have one independent variable. So again, your answer there would be letter C, the volume of the cheese, because it's being changed to measure the effect. Okay, your weight here is your dependent variable. Okay, so again, remember, whenever you write your scientific question, your hypothesis, they should show the relationship between your independent and your dependent variable. So again, letter C po ang ating tamang sagot for number 4. Again, if you are a member of our Guru Pinoy teams, you are going to get a copy of this PowerPoint presentation after this discussion, so you don't really need to take down of our notes, okay? Number 5, use dimensional analysis to convert 4 days into seconds. What's the answer? Letter A, 5,760 seconds. Letter B, 14,400 seconds. Letter C, 345,600 seconds. Or letter D, 20,736,000 seconds. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 5? We're already halfway through our halfway na tayo sa ating GenEd. Again, maraming salamat for those of you who've already sent us your stars. Mag-send na po kayo ng stars, and also please send your super chat, super stickers. Ayun, kakasabi ko lang. Maraming salamat, President, for sending us your super sticker. Thank you po. And also for sending us your stars. Maraming salamat. Thank you for all of you who've already sent us your stars and super chat, super stickers. Maraming salamat po. Again, we have a stars goal of 5,000 stars. So please help us reach that goal and fulfill the challenge by sending us your stars. Thank you. Okay, letter C, letter C. Letter C yung sagot. Thank you po for all our star senders and super chatters, senders of super stickers. Thank you so much. Ayun, karamihang sagot dito, letter C. Letter C. Okay, karamihang sagot mo ay letter C. All right, so again, going back to the question that we have here, we are asked to use dimensional analysis to convert 4 days into seconds. Okay, again, this right here is pronounced as seconds. Wag po seconds, hindi po seconds. Not seconds, but seconds. Okay, so converting 4 days into seconds, what's the answer? Letter A, 5,760 seconds. Letter B, 14,400 seconds. 345,600 seconds. or 20,736,000 seconds. Okay, so again, dimensional analysis is just a fancy way of saying that whenever you are trying to convert your quantity, you use your conversion factors. Meron kang conversion factors. Napakadali lang naman itong dimensional analysis mo. So we are given 4 days there now, and we are going to convert this into seconds. The correct answer here would be letter C. Karamihan naman yata sa inyo ay tama, no? Letter C po ang inyong sagot. Mukhang naghang yung aking, ayun. Letter C po ang inyong tamang sagot. So again, you are given 4 days. Whenever you perform your dimensional analysis, you'd always start with your given quantity. Again, remember, whenever you have a quantity, it should always be a number and your unit, okay? You can't consider something a quantity if there's still no unit, no? So we have to also encourage our students, if you are a math teacher or maybe a science teacher, whenever there's some computation in your classroom, no, in your lesson, hindi po pwedeng walang unit yung answer ng inyong students, no? So dapat may 4 days. Kung 4 lamang, usually naririnig natin sa ating mga teachers, they'd say, ano to, 4 carabaos, 4 mosquitoes, no? 4 langaws, whatever, okay? So you should always have a unit whenever you have a quantity, okay? Napaka-importante po ng unit because your measurement would always have a number and your measurements, your quantities would always have a number and your unit, okay? Kailangan may unit. Maraming salamat, President Loreto, for sending us another star, okay? Another batch of stars. Thank you so much po, President. Okay, so whenever you have your conversion factor, whenever you are trying to convert your quantity using your dimensional analysis, it's very important that you know how to manipulate to use the different units that you have. For in this case here, for example, you have 4 days. Okay, and so the next conversion factor that you are going to use should have a denominator with days as its unit. Dapat yung denominator mo would have days. And so we are going to have days and hours, for example, because of course, klaro sa atin, no, that we can convert the days into hours. 1 day would be equal to 24 hours. And so that would be the next conversion factor. The first conversion factor that we are going to use is 24 hours in 1 day. Again, as I've mentioned, whatever is the unit of your given quantity, yan po dapat yung magiging unit ng inyong denominator dito para po ma-cancel ninyo. Okay? Para po ma-cancel ninyo. Since this one here is the numerator, no, it's a whole number and it is considered that it's over 1. Okay? If you write this in fraction form, over 1 siya. So that means your days here would be the numerator, no, if you are writing this in your fraction form. And so we write day here as part of your denominator so that you can cancel the days because we don't need that. We are trying to convert our quantity into seconds. Okay, so now we are left with 24 hours. Now we can convert the hours, of course, into the number of minutes that we have. Okay, we know that 1 hour equals 60 minutes. Okay, and so we write 1 hour equals 60 minutes here. Again, we write hour at the bottom in your denominator so that we can cancel the hours here in our remaining quantity. Okay, so we cancel that. That's hour and hour. We can cancel that. We are left with the unit minutes. And so now we convert the minutes into seconds. We know that 1 minute has 60 seconds. And so ilalagay natin yung minutes sa ilalim, no, sa ating denominator so that we can cancel the minutes. Okay, so we cancel minute here. 1 minute equals 60 seconds. Okay, and so now we are left with just the unit of seconds here. So tama na yung ating unit, no? The remaining unit now is now just seconds. We have canceled the rest of the units so we have using dimensional analysis. Okay, now you can see wala po tayong numbers sa ating denominator. All 1 lang po yan. Lahat na numbers nasa denominator natin ay 1 lang lahat. But here, all the rest of the numbers that you have here, 4, 24, 60, and 60, these are all numerators. And so what we are going to do is we simply multiply those 4 numbers that we have. Okay, so you multiply those 4 numbers. So that's 4 times 24 times 60 times 60, and that is going to give you 345,660 seconds. So the correct answer would be letter C. Letter C po ang tamang sagot. Okay, so ligwak na naman. Bawi po tayo sa mga naligwak. Okay lang po yan. Okay, so 345,660 600. Pag marunong naman kayo sa medyo estimation, no, pwede nyo naman gawin din yan. So again, in math, you can kill the cat in several ways, okay? Several ways. But again, if you're using dimensional analysis, you should be doing this solution or making or using the solution. So again, that's letter A, 345,600 seconds. That's the correct answer. All right, we go to number 6. Hyper is so energetic as organic is to. Letter A, food, because these words have a relationship that shows a trait. So this is a characteristic analogy. Letter B, natural, because these words have a relationship that is similar to. So this is a synonym analogy. Letter C, popular, because these words have a relationship that shows a trait. So this is a characteristic analogy. Letter D, artificial, because these words have a relationship that is dissimilar. So this is an antonym analogy. What's your answer? What is the correct answer for question number 6? Number 6 na po tayo for our GenEd. What's your answer for number 6? Again, please do send us your stars so that we can reach our goal of 5,000 stars tonight. And of course, you can also send us your super chat, super stickers. Maraming salamat po. You send us your stars and super chat, super stickers. Thank you. Okay, letter B. Karamihang sagot dito ay letter B, letter B. And of course, letter B here is the correct choice. Okay, so whenever you have your analogy and logic, no, you need to, so that you can get the correct answer for the blank here, you should know the relationship between the first two words first. Ano ba yung relationship between hyper and energetic? We know that hyper and energetic are synonyms, and so you are given the third word here, which is organic, and we also need to find the synonym or a synonym to your term organic. And so organic here is natural, okay? So in English, organic, of course, means natural. In chemistry, in science naman, organic is a substance that contains carbon. Okay, so carbon-containing substance yung term na organic. And so letter B, organic here, or natural, is the correct answer. We have various videos on analogy and logic. Please watch those videos. Type niyo lamang analogy logic, Gurong Pinoy, lumalabas po ito sa LET. And of course, lumalabas din ito sa inyong civil service exam. Okay, so I have discussed the different types of relationships. There are different types of analogy, and so please do watch those videos. Okay, so please do find that in your Facebook. No, sa Facebook page natin meron din dyan. At meron din po, of course, sa ating YouTube channel. Okay, so again, letter B. For number 6, nakabawi, letter B is the correct choice. Number 7, ito. Math science na naman ito. Consider an alien on a planet with an acceleration of gravity equal to 20 meters per second squared. If the alien's mass is 10 kilograms, how much does the alien weigh? Is it letter A, 2 newtons, letter B, 20 newtons, letter C, 200 newtons, or letter D, 200 pounds? What's the answer for number 7? What do you think is the correct answer for number 7? Number 7? Super chatters, super sticker senders, star senders. Maraming salamat. Please share your stars and super chat, super stickers. Thank you po. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 7? Number 7. Marami pa rin medyo confused sa atin in this type of question. Now, I will be talking about this question. Medyo maraming concept na kailangan nating i-discuss in this question here. Okay, please do send us your stars, your super chat, super stickers, and of course, your answer. Bakit may nag-angry? Sinong angry? Si Ma'am Nani? Sir Nani Gumunong? Gutom yata si Sir. Hula hoop lang yung answer ng Tin. Okay, marami yatang absent today, no? Busy sa life kapag ka-Friday. Or maybe nakalimutan. Okay, so again, I see some of your answers. Samut-sari din, no? ABCD din yung ating sagot. ABCD yung ating sagot. Okay, now, sabi dito, you have an alien on the planet. You don't know what planet that is, no? It's the planet of the alien. Okay, so the planet has an acceleration of gravity which is equal to 20 meters per second squared. That's the pull of gravity on that planet. If the alien's mass is 10 kilograms, how much does the alien weigh? Okay, how much does the alien weigh? Now, remember, our planet, the Earth also has an acceleration due to gravity. No, meron tayong fixed na quantity for your acceleration due to gravity. Can you put that in your chat box? What is the acceleration due to gravity on Earth? Okay? Ano yung acceleration due to gravity para sa Earth? What if your question kasi would tell you that a person is on Earth and you are not given the quantity for acceleration of gravity or acceleration due to gravity on Earth? Dapat kasi alam nyo na yung acceleration due to gravity on Earth. What is acceleration due to gravity for the Earth? Ilan yung value ng acceleration due to gravity natin for the Earth? Without using your friend Google, okay? Without using your friend Google or your friend Yahoo. Okay, what's the answer? Ano po yung acceleration due to gravity on Earth? It's a fixed quantity, it's a constant. Okay, so dapat alam nyo yan. Pag sinabi ng question nyo na the person is on Earth, hindi binigay yung acceleration due to gravity, dapat alam nyo kung paano nyo siya isusolve, no? Dapat alam nyo kung ano yung value ng acceleration due to gravity on Earth. Okay, your answer there would be, what's acceleration due to gravity on Earth? That's 9.8 meter per second squared. Okay, so 9.8 meter per second squared po. May exponent 2 po yung seconds natin. So again, 9.8 meter per second squared. Tama po yan, Sir Nino. 9.8 meter per second squared. That is the answer. No? Ayan po yung ating acceleration due to gravity on Earth. Okay, so 9.8 meter per second squared is acceleration due to gravity on Earth. Now, you are given the mass and the weight here. Okay, now we have to remember that mass and weight in vernacular, for example, or in common or in layman's term, pag sinabi bong mass and weight, usually ini-interchange lang sila, no? Interchangeable lang itong dalawa. Kapag casual lang na nag-uusap kayo, what's the mass? What's the weight of the object? What's the mass? But in science, these two terms, these two concepts are not the same. Okay, they are different concepts. So when you say mass in science, mass would be the amount of matter that an object has. Okay, so mass does not change. May mga questions na ganito sa let, no? What is the difference between mass and weight? The mass of an object does not change. So here, if the alien's mass is 10 kilograms, it is just going to continue becoming 10 kilograms. Kahit na dinala mo siya sa Earth, kahit dinala mo siya sa Jupiter or sa Sun, no? Or sa Mercury, 10 kilograms pa rin yung magiging mass ng inyong alien. The mass of an object, mass of a person, does not change even if the planet or the heavenly body's acceleration due to gravity is different. Okay, so again, mass does not change. It is the amount of matter that an object has or a person has. Weight, on the other hand, when you say weight naman, it is the effect, or it is the mass multiplied by gravitational pull. Okay, so this is the amount of pull that the planet or the heavenly body or the planet is pulling or is exerting on a person or an object. Okay, so it's the pull of gravity ang weight mo. And so again, when you say mass and weight, hindi sila magkaparehas. Mass would be the amount of matter that an object or a person has. Weight is the pull of gravity. Mass does not change. Even if you bring this alien to another planet, the mass will not change. But again, the weight will change because weight is dependent on the pull of gravity, on acceleration due to gravity on that planet. So for us to be able to solve this, I'll show you in a few minutes or a few seconds. But of course, the answer here will be letter C. That's 200 newtons. Your formula for weight is mg. Okay, so weight here equals mg, where m is mass, and g here is acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so mass times acceleration due to gravity. Ganyan lamang po kadali, no? So you simply multiply the mass here, which is 10, by 20 meter per second squared, okay, which is your pull of gravity. So 10 kilograms multiplied by 20 meter per second squared. That would give you, of course, 200 kilogram meter per second squared. Kilogram meter per second squared is the same as newtons. Okay, so parehas lang po yan, yung kilogram meter per second squared nyo is the same as the unit newtons, and so the correct answer will be letter C. So letter C po ang ating tamang sagot, ligwak. Tama, anong nangyari? Okay, so sa mga nakatama, i-share na yung ating video. Okay, ayan, ligwak na naman. Okay, ligwak na naman. Okay, so again, the answer there will be 200 newtons. 200 newtons. Again, newtons is equal to kilogram meter per second squared. Of course, this was named after Lolo Isaac Newton, the one that has given us the concept of gravity, the one that has given us the 3 laws of motion. Of course, we also need to remember his life. He was born to his parents who were farmers, but he studied very hard. He did not become a farmer. He was very smart. He was very dedicated to his job, he spent a lot of time alone, never been kissed, never been touched, died a virgin. Okay, that's the sad life of Lolo Isaac Newton. So again, letter C here ang ating tamang sagot. Number 8, which action prompted the United States to enter World War II? Is it letter A, Japan's invasion of Manchuria? Letter B, Germany's invasion of Poland? Letter C, Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor? Or letter D, the Holocaust? What's the answer? Ma'am Shelby May Shacor, meron siyang question dito. Ma'am, may ano pong kaibahan ng newtons at pounds? Pounds po is just one of the usual units that we are using whenever we measure mass. Para po sa mass yung pounds nyo. So yung pounds nyo and kilogram, they're both units for mass. Hindi po sila ginagamit for the weight. Okay, so for the weight, we use newtons. Yung pounds nyo po and your kilogram, those are used for our mass, grams, centigrams, all this, no? So yung gram mo, or kilogram, and pounds are used for mass. Okay, remember, 1 kilogram would be equal to 2.2 pounds. Okay, so mas malaki yung kilogram, no? You need 2.2 pounds so that you can have 1 kilogram. Dito sa Amerika, pounds yung gamit nila. If you're driving, we're not using kilometer per hour, hindi siya kph, no? They're using miles. Okay, so miles then. Even in temperature, they're using degrees Fahrenheit. Hindi sila gumagamit ng degrees Celsius dito, no? Of course, we are all using yung sa ating kasi metric unit na yung ginagamit natin. So, kilometer, ito na yung ginagamit natin, kilogram, yung Amerika yata ayaw sumunod because of course, British yata yung metric system, no? Ayaw nilang sumunod. And so, until now, iba pa rin yung sistemang ginagamit nila. Apothecary yung sinasabi, no? Other system of measurement pa rin ginagamit nila. So, they don't use degrees Celsius here. Degrees Fahrenheit yung gamit nila. Hindi sila gumagamit ng kilometers, no? Ginagamit nila in miles. Okay, so that's another type of adjustment. When you come here, medyo ka-adjust ka din, no? When they say, it's so hot today, it's 90 degrees Fahrenheit or 80 plus degrees Fahrenheit, you still need to check ano ba ito sa degrees Celsius, no? Okay, because we are not familiar with degrees Fahrenheit. All right, number 8, this is very easy, social science ito, no? Which action prompted the United States, the US, to enter World War II? Okay, is it letter A, Japan's invasion of Manchuria? Manchuria, of course, is part of China. Letter B, Germany's invasion of Poland. Letter C, Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor. Or letter D, the Holocaust? Correct answer, of course, here would be letter C, Japan's bombing of Pearl Harbor. Okay, so yun po yung nagsimula. Okay, kung bakit nag-umpisa na, no, nag-join na ng World War II yung Amerika. It was the bombing of the Pearl Harbor. Okay, so that's the correct answer. The Holocaust, of course, the Holocaust was the killing of the Jews, no, during the time of Hitler. Okay, hindi yan yung tamang sagot. Japan's invasion of Manchuria, not the correct answer. Germany's invasion of Poland. Correct answer is letter C. Marami yatang nakakuha ng ating letter C. That's number 8. Now, we go to number 9. Ito ay isang dulang nagsasalaysay ng buhay at kamatayan ng ating mahal na poong Jesucristo at masasabing parang pasyong itinatanghal sa entablado. Ito ay ang letter A, sinakulo. Letter B, duplo. Letter C, karagatan. Letter D, moro-moro. What's the answer for number 9? Number 9 na po tayo. Wow, ang bilis ni Sir Al-Rashid, nauuna. Okay, number 9, what do you think is the correct answer? Again, please do send us your stars, super chat, super stickers. Meron po tayong goal ng 5,000 stars tonight. So please do send us your stars. Maraming salamat po. Ayun, Filipino major labas daw. Sabi ni Sir Al-Rashid. Okay, letter A. May ilang iba yung sagot. Karamihang sagot is letter A. Okay, and of course, the correct answer here is letter A. That's sinakulo. Okay, sinakulo. Ito yung nagsasalaysay buhay at kamatay ng ating mahal na poong Jesucristo at parang pasyon. Okay, so para siyang pasyon tinatanghal sa entablado. Now, duplo at karagatan dito halos magkaparehas. Duplo po ay libangan para sa mga namatayan. No? Ito yung mga tula na ginagawa pag merong namamatay no sa lamay, ito ginagawa duplo. Yung karagatan ay katulad ng din ng duplo, pero usually yung tema ng inyong karagatan ay tungkol sa pagliligawan. Ito yung tungkol sa singsing na hinahanap ng pagliligawan. Ito yung karagatan. Moro-moro, you know this, ito yung pagtatanghal tungkol sa awayan ng mga Moro at Kristiyano. Okay, so moro-moro. Moro-moro is very unique because it's only the Philippines that is doing moro-moro. Hindi ko lang alam kung hanggang ngayon ay may moro-moro. Pag walang pandemic ba, meron pang moro-moro? No? I do not know kung meron pang moro-moro. But of course, here the correct answer is letter A, sinakulo po ang ating tamang sagot. Sinakulo. Okay, number 10. Malabnaw ang utak ni Jose kaya hindi siya agad nakatapos ng sekundarya. Is it letter A, kulang sa sustansya? Letter B, mapurol o mahina? Letter C, tamad at ayaw mag-aral? Or letter D, hindi nag-iisip? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for number 10? This is the last item that we have for our GenEd tonight. Okay. Again, please do send us your stars and your super chat, super stickers. Maraming salamat po. Oy, Brother Efren, nagbabalik. Nakikita ko na yung comment ni Brother Efren Esteban. Welcome back po, Brad. Medyo na busy si Brad, no? Ano kaya yung tamang sagot for this item that we have here? This is the last item that we have as part of your GenEd. After this, number 11 would already be part of ProfEd. Okay, so again, wag pong kalimutan, bukas, you will have your session, the first session that you have with Coach Abby. And also Sunday, that's also still with Coach Abby, that's Filipino. Okay, medyo dugo din yung ilong natin bukas, no? Mahirap kaya yung Filipino. Napakahirap. Okay, what's your answer? Karamihan sagot dito, letter B. Letter B, and of course, that is the correct choice. Okay, so letter B, mapurol o mahina, that's the correct answer. Maraming salamat, Sir Nap, for sending us your super chat or your super sticker. Thank you so much po. Okay, so kulang sa sustansya, letter B, mapurol o mahina. Letter C, tamad at ayaw mag-aral. Letter D, hindi nag-iisip. When you say malabnaw ang utak ni Jose, hindi siya agad nakatapos ng sekundarya. The correct answer, of course, would be mapurol o mahina. Medyo mahina yung utak ni Jose. Marahil dahil hindi na home, no? Hindi siya nagkaroon ng study skills, hindi siya na follow up at home, no? Hindi talaga siya nagkagana para matuto. Okay? So again, letter B, that's the correct choice for number 10. We move on to number 11. This is already part of your professional education. Number 11, how are social development and emotional development different? Is it letter A, social development is about learning how groups are structured, while emotional development is about learning the relationship between emotions. Letter B, social development is about learning how groups are structured, while emotional development is about understanding emotions. Letter C, social development is about learning to interact with others, while emotional development is about understanding emotions. Or letter D, social development is about understanding emotions, while emotional development is about learning to interact with others. What do you think is the correct answer? What's the difference between social and emotional development? What's their difference? Okay, what do you think is the correct answer? Correct answer. What is the correct choice for number 11? This is already Prof Ed. Okay, number 11 po, ano ang inyong tamang sagot? What do you think is the correct answer for question number 11? Number 11, please send us your answers in your chat box. Okay, letter C. Karamihang sagot dito. Letter C, letter C. Letter C, karamihang sagot. Okay. Sabi dito na letter C mo, social development is about learning to interact with others, while emotional development is about understanding emotions. The correct answer is letter C. Tama yung letter C. When you say social development, this is how you are able to interact with others, no? 'Di ba pag sinabi mo, ang social, meron kasing connotation sa atin ang term na social, no? Ang social talaga niya. Ang social niya. Pag sinabing social sa atin, magara yung damit, social manalita, no? Isipin nyo na lang si Julia Barreto, yung hindi pa nakakatikim ng isaw, no? Yan yung mga social. But of course, when you say social kasi, pag sinabi mong social, that is coming from the term society. That is how you interact with other people. Okay? So that's how you interact with other people. Kaya tayo may tinatawag na interpersonal skills, no? Intersocial skills, no? So social, it pertains to how you interact with other people, how you interact with people in your society. Kaya tama yung letter C nyo. Emotional development is of course how you understand emotions. Hindi po pwedeng wala kang pake, no? Yung wala kang nararamdaman, kahit iyak na ng iyak yung boyfriend mo dahil gusto mo siyang i-break, iyak na ng iyak yung girlfriend mo dahil gusto mo siyang i-break, wala kang pakialam. Gusto mo lang maging maligaya. Pag nanood kayo ng Tulfo, no? Yung judicial branch daw dahil di ba sabi we have 3 branches in our government, executive, yung judicial and legislative. Yung judicial branch daw ngayon ay Tulfo na, no? So trial by publicity. Pag nanood kayo ng Tulfo, nakikita niyo yung ibang tao doon wala nang talagang pakialam, no? Walang emotional development. Kulang sa emotional development, no? Yung iyak na ng iyak yung mga taong niloko nila, sila walang pakialam. Okay? So letter C po ang ating tamang sagot dito. Social development is about learning to interact with others, while emotional development is about understanding emotions. Very important that we can empathize with other people, that we can put our feet into the shoes of other people. We can learn or we can understand them by understanding their emotions. Okay? So that's letter C. For number 11, number 12, why is physical development important for babies and toddlers? Letter A, it is essential for their emotional development. Letter B, it is necessary for muscular growth and development. Letter C, it leads to improved motor skills, which allows them to explore the environment. Or letter D, it includes visual development, which allows them to learn to read. What's the answer for number 12? Number 12 po. Ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Ayun, lalo na yung mga babaeng may koleksyon. Hindi ko nakikita na, hindi ko napapanood yan. Hindi ko pa pala napanood, pero nakita ko yan sa parang ad yata, no? Ma'am Angie Perez, maraming salamat po for sending us your stars. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat po. Okay, what's the correct answer for number 12, people? Again, please do share your stars with us, and of course, send us your super chat, super stickers. Maraming salamat po. Okay, letter C, letter B. Karamihang sagot ay C at B. Letter C and B. What do you think is the correct choice in the question that we have here? C and B. C and B. Please do send us your stars. Again, we have our stars goal of 5,000 stars tonight. Okay, letter B at letter C lamang, no? Nag-aagawan yung letter B and C dito. Going back to the question that we have, why is physical development important for babies and toddlers? Bakit kailangan that they are developed physically? It is essential for their emotional development. It is necessary for muscular growth and development. It leads to improved motor skills, which allows them to explore the environment. Or letter D, it includes visual development, which allows them to learn to read. The correct answer here would be letter C. It leads to improved motor skills. Now, it's very important that you try to improve the physique of your babies, of your toddlers, so that they can also improve their motor skills. This can allow them to explore the environment. Okay, so hindi lamang yung gross motor skills like running, walking, jumping, but kailangan din na pati yung fine motor skills like the use of the hands na i-improve natin. Okay, so physical development is very important. Huwag pong itago si baby no, pag walang pandemic. Kung pre-pandemic ito, yung situation na pre-pandemic, hindi kailangan tinatago lamang yung baby at hindi kailangan karga-karga lamang yung baby. Dito sa Amerika, hindi masyadong pampered yung mga bata, no? Napakayang pa ng mga bata na umaakyat na sa mga swing, sa mga slide, no? Hinahayaan lang nila kahit nahuhulog. Okay? Kasi natututo daw yung bata, nagiging independent yung bata. Sa atin kasi, nako, mahuhulog, nako, matutumba, no? Especially yung mga lolo, lola, napaka doting sa kanilang mga grandkids. Okay? But here, letter C po ang ating tamang sagot. We go to number 13. Erickson's developmental stage of industry versus inferiority can be compared to which of Freud's psychosexual stages? Is it letter A, oral, letter B, anal, letter C, latency, or letter D, phallic? What's the answer? Okay, ano kaya yung tamang sagot? Ang ingay ng mga ina, sabi ng benefit for all. Ganun nga, no? Yung mga ina, ang ingay, yung mga lola, ganun din. Kaya tayo mga Pilipino talaga tawag dito, dependent. If, kung nakikita nyo si Rain, pag dinala namin si Rain sa playground, yung ibang bata ay walang kasama, si Rain palagi may kasama, no? Ayaw niyang bumaba ng slide na walang kasama. Okay, because we are really used to being pampered, no? Kailangang turuan mo talaga, alagaan mo yung bata, wag mo hayaang makagat ng lamok, no? Dito, hinahayaan lang nila. Minsan nahuhulog, wala siyang pakialam. Minsan sumisigaw yung bata, I need help. Ano, I'm not going to help you. You can do it. Ganon. Ganon yung mga puti, tsaka yung mga pusit dito. Okay, letter C. Karamihang sagot dito, letter C. Again, your question is trying to compare Erickson's developmental stage to that of Freud. Okay, so Freud and Erickson's developmental stage. Remember, Erickson is psychosocial. Psychosocial development theory. Yung kay Freud mo naman is psychosexual. Okay, psychosexual. Is it, you are trying to compare Erickson's developmental stage and Freud's psychosexual stage in terms of the stage of industry and inferiority. So which one do you think is the correct answer? Is it oral, anal, latency, or phallic? So again, saan dito yung mako-compare mo? Halos magkapareha sa industry versus inferiority. The correct answer here would be letter C. Latency po yung ating tamang sagot. Letter C. Kung C po ang inyong sagot, tama kayo, no? Punta natin yung inyong slide. Now remember, si Erickson muna, no? Unahin natin si Erickson, hindi ko muna ipapakita yung ating slide, no? So si Erickson, meron siyang of course 8 developmental stages sa kanyang psychosocial theory. Sabi ni Erickson, para maging successful ka in the latter part, the latter stages in life, dapat naging successful ka muna sa mga previous stages, no? Sa mga naunang stage. Okay, so now, without using Google, without using any of your search engines, I'm going to check whether you already know the different stages in Erickson's developmental stage, psychosocial development theory. What is stage 1? What is stage 1? Ano yung stage 1 ni Erickson? Please put that in our chat box. What is Erickson's first stage? Ano na? Ano yung sinasabi ni Sir Nap? Sir Nap sabi, onyok, ang pato, lagsagid. Okay. Okay. So yan yung ano ni Sir Nap, yan yung mnemonic niya sa Owls Always Play Late Games ni Freud. Yung mnemonic niya, onyok, ang pato, lagsagid. Okay, yan. Nakikita ko na yung sagot nyo for the first stage, no? First stage ni Erickson, trust versus mistrust. Tama yan. Trust versus mistrust. That's correct. Okay? Now, what about stage 2? Ano yung stage 2? Pag stage 1 kasi okay pa tayo. Alam niyo pa to no? Memorize niyo pa yung stage 1. Okay, stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. Remember, kay Erickson, no, palaging may dilemma. Palaging may dalawang choice, no? Dalawang choices yung bata. Is it trust or mistrust? No? Should I trust or should I mistrust? Now, what about stage 2? What is stage 2? Again, please do not use your search engine. No, we're trying to check whether you already know your developmental stages according to Eric Erickson. No, wag po kayo mandaya. Huwag pong magtingin sa inyong Google, no? Para po ma-check natin kung talagang alam nyo na. Okay? Alright, so what's stage 2? What is stage 2 in Eric Erickson's psychosocial development theory? Okay, number 2 na po tayo, stage 2. Okay, so you are sending autonomy versus shame or autonomy versus shame and doubt. That's correct, okay? So, autonomy versus shame and doubt. That's correct. Now, what about stage 3? Ano yung stage 3? Stage 3, without looking at Google, ano po yung sagot nyo for stage 3? What's stage 3 for Erickson? Erickson's psychosocial development theory. Ano po yung ating stage 3? Huwag tingnan si Google. Stage 3. Excuse me. Stage 3 na po tayo. Ayan, initiative versus guilt. Okay, initiative versus guilt. That's correct. That is stage 3. What about stage 4? Stage 4. Ano po yung ating stage 4 according to Eric Erickson's theory? What is stage 4? Stage 4. Again, do not get Google. Try to remember as much as you can. Pag hindi na nare-remember lahat, okay lang yan. sabi ni Sir Al-Rashid, di ko na alam. Okay, number 4, stage 4. What's the answer for stage 4? Stage 4 pa lang po tayo. Stage 4. Stage 4, correct answer is industry versus inferiority. That's correct. Okay, so industry versus inferiority, yung ating stage 4. So again, stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. Stage 2 is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. And of course, stage 4, nasa stage 4 na po tayo. That's industry versus inferiority. Stage 5, what's stage 5? Ano po yung ating stage 5? Erickson's psychosocial development theory. Stage 5. What is stage 5 of Erickson's psychosocial theory? Okay, I can already see some of your answers. Stage 5. Tama po yan. Stage 5 is identity versus role confusion. Identity versus role confusion. That's correct. What about stage 6? Stage 6. What's the answer for stage 6? Stage 6. Okay, so identity versus role confusion, that's stage 5, tama. Stage 6 na po tayo. Ano po yung stage 6 natin? Stage 6 is, ayun, stage 5 po yung identity versus role confusion. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation. Stage 6 po yan, intimacy versus isolation, that's correct. Stage 7, ano po yung stage 7? Stage 7. So 5 yung identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation would be stage 6. Stage 7 is, ayan, sabi ni Sir Al-Rashid, sana all alam. Ako wala talaga, nalimutan na eh. Balikan po natin yan later, Sir Al-Rashid. Okay, I'm going to help you remember all those things later. Okay, stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation. Tama po yan, no? Generativity versus stagnation. Of course, the last stage that we have, Dahil nga 8 yung stages no, ni Erickson, ano po yung last stage? Number 7, stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation, and stage 8 is ayun, sabi ni Ma'am Tin, integrity versus despair. Sabi ni Sir Nap, ganun din, integrity versus despair. Okay, that's the last stage. So tama yan, no? Integrity versus despair. All right, now let's take a look at your mnemonics. No? I have one, yung previous video natin, I think that's the first live stream that I have. Meron akong mnemonics doon, tinuruan ko kayo kung paano nyo ma-memorize no, yung stages ni Erickson. Meron tayong video na yan, yung first live stream. I think it has been reposted 2 days ago in Gurong Pinoy sa Facebook page natin. Balikan nyo po yan. And of course, I have taught you there the different things that you can, the different mnemonics that you can use so that you can remember the 8 stages of psychosocial development according to Erik Erikson. Okay, so here on the screen, Sir Al-Rashid, on the screen, we already have the 8 different stages, the 8 different mnemonics. So again, for stage 1, your clue would be Rusty 1, Rusty 1. Okay, so Rusty 1, again, Rusty 1, stage 1 is Rusty 1. Rusty, of course, that sounds like trust. Okay, so you can remember that stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. Okay, so that's trust versus mistrust. For stage 1, Rusty 1. For stage 2, your mnemonic would be Shane rides an automatic bike. Okay, so Shane rides an automatic bike. Of course, we know that 2 here, stage 2, is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Okay, so stage 2, Shane rides an automatic bike, autonomy versus shame and doubt. Stage 3, your mnemonic is a tree beside an inn. Okay, tree beside an inn. So that means stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. Okay? Meron pang dinadagdag dito, no? An inn with a quilt. Pwede yun para maalala nyo yung guilt. So again, stage 3, or a tree beside an inn with quilt. So stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. Now stage 4, yung mnemonic nyo would be 4 industries make factories inferior. Okay, so 4 industries make factories inferior. That means stage 4, industry versus inferiority. Okay, industry versus inferiority. Stage 5, mnemonic would be at 5. The doctor gave me his ID, which made me confused. Okay, at 5 or at 5 o'clock, the doctor gave me his ID, which made me confused. So that's stage 5, identity versus role confusion. Okay, now stage 6, ito yung gusto nyo, intimate sex at an isolated beach. Okay, an intimate sex at an isolated beach, that means stage 6, that's intimacy versus isolation. Okay, so intimacy versus isolation for stage 6. Now, stage 7, I went to 7-Eleven to buy generator and stag. Okay, went to 7-Eleven, pambansang tambayan, no? To buy generator and stag. So that means stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation. Generativity versus stagnation, that's stage 7. And of course, stage 8, I ate a gritty pear, which made me feel despair. That means stage 8, integrity versus despair. Okay, so stage 8 is integrity versus despair. So again, stage 1 is trust versus mistrust. Stage 2 is autonomy versus shame and doubt. Stage 3 is initiative versus guilt. Stage 4, industry versus inferiority. Stage 5, identity versus role confusion. Stage 6 is intimacy versus isolation. Stage 7 is generativity versus stagnation. And stage 8 is integrity versus despair. Okay? So dapat na-memorize nyo na yan, no? Memoryado na dapat yung 8 stages according kay Erik Erikson. Okay, Erik Erikson. All right, so again, these are the 8 different stages according to Erik Erikson. No? So sabi nga ni Erik Erikson, dapat naging successful ka muna in the first stages. Sa first stages mo dito, dapat successful ka muna para maging successful ka sa last stages, no? Sa latter stages of life. Okay, so the first stages of life should have been rewarded, should have been accomplished first before you can become accomplished in the latter stages of life. So again, trust versus mistrust mo, that's during infancy, no? So during infancy, it is very important that the kids that we are caring for, yung mga anak natin, yung mga babies, no, we take care of them very well because they are just learning how to trust, okay? They're also trying to develop the concept of hope and drive. So dapat yung mga caregivers talaga, yung mga nanay, mga nag-aalaga, titas man, and caring, no? Pag umiyak yung bata, wag naman masyadong namamaos na yung bata, hindi pa rin pinapadede. Okay? So dapat alam nating i-care yung bata. Alam mo maliit pa si Baby Ray, no? Ma'am Char Antilino, maraming salamat po for your stars. So, thank you so much for sending us your stars. Nung maliit pa si Baby Rain, of course, she's my first kid. She's still my only kid until now. No, she's my only child. And of course, as a first-time mom, alam niyo ba, meron pa akong chart na different types of cries. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Fina-follow ko talaga yun, no? Talagang nakapaskil siya sa aparador. Different types of cries. So, pag ganito daw yung iyak ng bata, gutom yung bata. Pag ganito daw yung iyak ng bata, basa yung diapers. No? Pag ganito daw yung iyak ng bata, sick yung bata. Okay? Para naman siya galing yata siya sa pedia or sa baby book naman siya nanggaling. So, pinapaskil ko talaga siya sa aparador, no? At fina-follow ko talaga, tinitingnan ko. So, pag umiyak si Baby Ray, no? Sasabihin ko muna, teka, wait lang, Baby Ray, na titingnan ko muna kung ano yung sound ng cry mo. Okay? But it was not really effective. But as first-time moms kasi, you are very desperate, no? Lalo na pag wala kang katulong sa bahay, no? Wala kang kasama sa bahay, hindi mo alam yung gagawin mo kapag first-time mom ka. And so, again, it's very important that the kids, our children, would know that they can trust them. And this is done through our actions. So, dapat inaalagaan yung bata, no? So, papadidein, kung kailangan ipadidein na yung bata, kung basa yung diapers, kailangan ng i-change yung diapers. Kung gutom yung bata, of course, kailangan ng padidein yung bata. Okay? So, that's trust versus mistrust. That's infancy. Kaya yung sinabi ni Coach tuloy, ni Sir Nino, sometimes yung age yung tinatanong sa exam. Okay? So, dapat alam nyo, infancy. Okay? So, that means baby pa yung bata. Now, toddler, 2 to 4 years old, no? Usually 2 to 4, yung toddler mo, autonomy versus shame and doubt. So this is when the child would start having his or her autonomy. Meron na siyang self-control, meron na siyang willpower, no? So yung mga anak niyo dito, napapansin nyo, meron siyang favorite na shirt, meron siyang favorite na dress, meron na siyang favorite color. So usually, ayaw ng anak mo na palaban yung damit na to kasi gusto ng anak mo ulit-ulitin yung isuot yung damit na to, no? That's autonomy. So, hayaan nyo lang yung anak nyo pag meron siyang choices, basta hindi naman nakakasagabal sa buhay, no? Hindi naman nakakakos ng alarms and scandal, hindi naman yung pupunta siya sa church, gusto niya mag-swimwear, no? Pag hindi naman ganyang level, hayaan nyo lang yung anak nyo. Because that is one way for them to develop autonomy versus shame and doubt kasi ito na stage na to. Para magkaroon sila ng autonomy, para magkaroon sila din ng kusa, no? Papunta na kasi sa initiative na stage ito. So, hayaan nyo lang sila. Pag merong mga favorites, gusto niya na gamitin ito, lagi-lagi, ulit-ulitin, hayaan nyo lang hanggat maaari. Now, initiative versus guilt, this is stage 3. This is when the child is already a preschooler, so 4, 5 years old, now late 4, papuntang 5 years old, the child already has direction and purpose. So here is very important that we teach the child how to do some things that are not too heavy for them to do, no? Yung mga kailangan or pwede naman nilang gawin, ipagawa mo sa kanila. So si Rain, ganyan ginagawa namin kay Rain, no? So every time we eat, Rainy, can you please give mommy and daddy and nanay some water? So kukuha siya lagi ng tubig. Yan yung pinaka-assignment niya pagkakain na, no? So, initiative versus guilt. Hayaan nyo yung inyong anak. Huwag hayaang maging tamad kasi pag hindi pinatrabaho yung anak nyo from the early years, no, hindi nyo tinuruan hanggang tumanda yung anak ay tamad. So yung mga nakikita niyong tao na nandyan pa rin sa bahay ng nanay, bahay ng tatay, no? Yung nakahiga lang buong araw, nanonood lang ng TV, yung nanay, yung tatay nagtatrabaho, kahit matanda na, alam niyo na kung saan nagkulang, no? So that's during the developmental stages, dito sa ating early stages, no? According to Eric Erickson. So that's initiative versus guilt. Kaya hayaan niyo lang sila mag-scribble. Kami nga dito sa ang wall namin ay puno ng scribbles. Ang wall namin ay puno ng stickers, and I don't discourage my child. I always tell her, I love your creativity. You're very creative. I always like your ideas. Okay, kahit na punong-puno na yung wall mo ng lahat ng scribbles niya, lahat ng drawing niya. Kaya hayaan niyo lang yung bata. Okay, ang pinaka-importante naman yung anak natin, no, hindi yung wall. Pwede namang pinturahan yung wall na yan. Okay, now school age, this was our answer. Ito yung katulad ng latency stage ni Freud, no? So this is where you have industry versus inferiority, where your child is going to develop method and competence. So as teachers, as parents, hayaan nyo yung anak nyo gumawa ng kanyang module. Okay? Patapos nyo sa anak nyo yung kanyang module. Or kung hindi man kaya dahil na ang dami-daming kailangang tapusin, no? Tulungan lamang yung anak, pero hindi naman na kayo yung gagawa, no? Si nanay na si tatay na yung naging valedictorian dahil sila yung gumagawa ng module ng anak. Okay? So hayaan nyo pong gumawa sila, hayaan nyo pong mag-answer sila ng kanilang homework because they are trying to develop their method and competence. Okay? Pag kayo yung gumagawa ng kanilang homework, kayo po yung natuto, yung anak nyo ay naging batugan. Okay? Magiging batugan yung anak nyo, aasa na lamang sa inyo. Now, adolescent stage, very important, very critical din, no? Your child needs a lot of guidance during this time, of course. Your identity versus role confusion stage. Identity, that means he or she already knows what his gender is or what his sexual preferences is, no? Whether she'd like to be with a male, no? Meron na siyang crushes kasi meron na siyang mga puppy love dito, or gusto mo yung kapwa niya babae, okay lang naman yon. Okay, so identity versus role confusion is developed during the adolescent stage. Okay, so devotion and fidelity is also developed here. And so as parents, as teachers, it's also very important that we become good models for them. Okay, so role models for them or models for them. Okay, now young adult, this is intimacy versus isolation. They are able to develop affiliation and love. So kung naging palpak yung kanyang previous stage, which is identity versus role confusion, maaaring naging man-hater yung bata, naging a woman-hater yung bata, na ayaw niya na meron siyang ibang kasama, isolated siya lagi, no? Pag hindi naging maayos itong identity versus role confusion niya. So that's intimacy versus isolation. Next stage, to the last stage mo would be generativity. Nasa middle age ka na dito, nagtatrabaho ka na, no? Or young adult mo, nag-start ka magtrabaho, middle age mo, nasa ladder ka na ng inyong kumpanya. Okay, so production and care, very important. These are some of the virtues that we try to develop. That's generativity versus stagnation. So dapat we continuously work kahit na wala kang trabaho outside, no? Pwedeng nasa loob lamang ng bahay, pwedeng online lamang, no? Si nanay online seller lamang. Wag namang dibdiban yung laban, nanay, no? Tago naman natin, no? Wag namang dibdiban yung laban, lalo na pag online selling, lahat maraming nakakakita. And of course, the last stage here, older adult, that would be ego, integrity, and despair. Okay, so renunciation and wisdom is developed. If you see some of your lolos that are very wise, yung itong mga lolo nyo na lolo-lola nyo na mala Mother Teresa levels, no, or Confucius levels, yung mga wisdom, yung palaging merong advice sa'yo, yung palaging merong pangaral si lolo, no, may salawikain lagi si lolo. Ito yung alam mong lolo at lola na naging successful yung mga previous stages. Because of course, if your previous stages were successful, magiging wise din na lolo, lola, no? Magiging maganda din yung iyong last stage in life according to Eric Erickson. Pero pag nakikita mo yung lola mo na lolo-lola mo na palaging may kaaway, yung palaging may hinahanap na hindi niya makita, no, yung lola ko ganyan, palaging may hinahanap na hindi makita, palaging may kaaway, no, sasabihin niya, anak ko, meron talagang nangunguha dito, ano nga yan, mga thief, no, mga thieves. So, makakatiyong kamay. Sana ito may mangyari sa mga makakatiyong kamay. Palagi siya may hinahanap na hindi niya makita. So, minsan sasabihin niya, meron siya kasama sa loob ng bahay na hindi namin nakikita. Okay, so if that happens, so we know that somewhere along this road here, no, somewhere along the line, meron siyang hindi na satisfy, merong hindi naging successful kapag medyo mabunganga si lolo at lola, no. So meron siyang despair, meron siyang nire-regret, meron din ibang mga lolo't lola, yung mga matatandang dalaga, matatandang binata, no, yung mga may regret sa life, sana pinursu ko to, sana tinanggap ko na lang yung kanyang alok na kasal, no, for example. So these are the 8 different stages of psychosocial development theory according to Erik Erikson. Dapat alam na natin to, no, dapat memoryado na natin to. Okay, now ito naman yung kay Freud, Lolo Freud mo, no? So this is Freud's psychosexual theory. Okay, so psychosexual theory naman ito ni Freud. Sabi ni Freud, there are 5 stages according to our psychosexual development. Okay, so that means, sabi ni Freud, yung ating sexual development is related to the development of our psyche, okay, our mentality, our personality as a whole. Okay, so sabi niya dito, may 5 stages: oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Okay, so again, usually ginagamit nating mnemonic would be owls always play late games. Okay, so owls always play late games. Sabi ni Sir Nap kanina, no, onyok ang pato lagsagit. Okay, so in Ilonggo. So Ilonggo yung kanyang hiligay nun, yung kanyang mnemonic. No? You can also make your own mnemonic. So again, oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Ang pagkakaiba lamang ng kanilang different stages dito. So kay Erikson, of course, Erikson's is psychosocial. Kay Freud naman is psychosexual. Magkaiba din yung number of stages na meron sila. No? Kay Freud dito, 5 lamang yung stages niya. And of course, isang pagkakaiba, sabi ni Freud, meron kang erogenous zones, no? Meron si Freud tinatawag na erogenous zones. Yung pag sinabi mong erogenous zones, these are the parts of your body that can give you gratification. Ito yung parts ng body mo that can give you satisfaction. Yan yung kay Freud, no? So sabi niya, during the oral stage, the infant achieves gratification through oral activities. So pagkain, feeding, thumb sucking, babbling, no? 0 to 2 years old, your erogenous zone would be your mouth. During the anal stage, your erogenous zone would be, of course, your bowel movement, your anus. This is the time when the kid is going to learn how to control his bowel, no? Bowel or bladder control. So dapat tino-toilet train yung bata 2 to 3 years old. Okay, phallic stage. Phallic, of course, came from the term phallus, yung ari. The child learns to realize the differences between males and females and becomes aware of sexuality. Ito yung time na yung anak mo ay napaka-curious about the different parts of his body. He would look at the mirror and try to look at the different parts of his body. And this is the time when you see your child trying to play with his toy, trying to play with his birdie, okay? Usually nakikita natin sa mga batang lalaki, no, na because they are curious, hindi po dahil manyaki sila, no? Hindi dahil magiging salot sila sa lipunan in just a few years. Hindi po ganyan. So wag niyo sasabihin, napaka-manyaki sa batang ito, no? Manang-mana sa tatay niya, manang-mana sa kung sino, no? Nakikita mo siyang merong nilalaro, okay? But of course, that is just natural. For kids, it is natural because they are trying to explore the different parts of their body. And their gratification, satisfaction is through their phallus, sa kanilang ari, okay? Now, latency, ito yung counterpart ng industry versus inferiority ni Erikson. Ito yung pinaka-stage na hindi interesado si Freud. Dahil dito, sabi ni Freud, wala daw masyadong sexual urges yung bata. Okay? Wala siyang masyadong sexual urges because he or she is very busy with schoolwork. Okay? Very busy with schoolwork yung bata dito. 7 to 11 years old. And so the child has no erogenous zones. Walang erogenous zones yung bata dito. Now, genital, the growing adolescent shakes off all dependencies and learns to deal maturely with opposite sex. Yung genital mo, this would usually be called the sexual reawakening. Remember, during the phallic stage, the child would be very curious about the different parts of his body, and the child would always touch the different parts of his body Yung genital mo, this is also, again, called sexual reawakening because here you are going to explore your sexuality, but this is already using your partner. Okay, may partner ka na dito, hindi yung sariling sikap ka pa lamang, no? Katulad ng phallic stage. Dito sa genital, meron ka ng partner. Okay, so these are the different stages according to to Freud: oral, anal, phallic, latency, and genital. Okay? Now, gusto kong idagdag, meron din siyang, di ba meron siyang tinatawag na erogenous zones. These are the parts of your body where you feel satisfied, where you feel gratification. Okay? Yung, meron din siyang sinabing fixation. Okay? Meron siyang sinasabing fixation. Magkakaroon ka ng fixation, sabi ni Freud, kapag hindi naging successful yung isang stage ng inyong psychosexual development. Kunwari, dito sa oral stage, no? Sa oral stage mo, kung naging hindi naging successful yung oral stage mo, magkakaroon ka ng fixation, maaring palagian kang kumakain, no? Wala kang satisfaction kung kumakain ka. Maraming ganito sa atin, no? Yung kain ng kain, kahit busog na, gusto pa rin kumain, no? That's a fixation according to Freud. Fixation mo yan sa inyong oral stage. Maaring sa oral stage ng inyong development ay may kulang, kaya ngayon gusto mo pang i-satisfy siya. Yung gusto mong palagi ka may nginunguya, palaging may nakasaksak dyan sa bunganga mo, palagi ka may lollipop, yung mga smokers natin, chain smokers natin, yung mga alcoholic natin, inom ng inom, kain ng kain, these are fixations according to Erikson. Fixations of the oral stage according to Erikson. Sir Napa, sabi ni Sir Napa, hilig po yan kumain, ang kulang sa oral. Tama yan. Now, yung anal stage mo naman, yung fixation nito, dalawang parte lamang, or dalawang possibilities lamang according kay Erikson. Yung anal stage mo, pwedeng masyado kang burara, or pwedeng masyado kang, yung OC ka, obsessive compulsive ka, yung masyadong nakaayos yung mga gamit mo, no? Pag binuksan mo yung aparador, naka-arrange yung damit mo according to their shade, no? So from white, naka-rainbow, papunta dun sa black. Okay, so that's OC, no? Or pag binuksan mo yung drawer niya, may mga labels, no? Alphabetize yung kanyang mga panties, for example. Yung panties niya naka-arrange according to the days, no? Different days of the week, for example. So pag masyado kang OC, that's also a fixation to your based on your anal stage. Or pwede din naman yung masyado kang burara, yung pag binuksan mo yung kwarto niya, parang basurahan, okay? Parang landfill yung kanyang kwarto. Okay, that's also a fixation of the anal stage. Okay, so anal stage din yan. Now, phallic, of course, you already know some of the things that we can get. Now, fixation natin pag phallic, pwedeng maging exhibitionist ka, pwede din namang inhibitionist ka, ayaw mo na magkaroon ng sexual partners, para sa'yo lahat ay taboo, no? Pag nakakita ka ng someone who's wearing sleeveless, parang feeling mo ay makasalanan na yung taong ito, no? Or pwede din namang exhibitionist ka, yung mga nababalitaan nating nagpapakita ng kanilang ari, no? Sa mga public places, like sa jeepney, for example, or sa bus. So these are people na hindi maganda yung naging phallic stage. And of course, genital, ganun din. Latency, wala po tayong erogenous zone dito, sabi ni Freud. Hindi siya interesado sa latency stage, no? At hindi din siya, sabi nga, walang erogenous zone dito, so wala din fixation. Yung genital mo naman, of course, there are some people who are nymphomaniac. Tama ba, nymphomaniac? Yes, okay. Yung mahilig, no? Yung sobrang hilig. Ayaw bigyan ng rest time ng partner. Meron din naman yung gusto yung promiscuous, yung maraming different partners, yung hindi ma-satisfy sa isang partner lamang, no? So these are also some fixations during the genital stage. Okay? So napaka-importante, interesting din ng itong mga concepts galing kay Lolo Sigmund Freud. Okay? So, yeah, may nabasa ako kanina dito. Yes, idagdag ko. Galing ito kay Sir Al-Rashid. Ayan, yung Oedipus complex mo and your electrocomplex mo, usually nangyayari siya very, very early, no, sa phallic stage mo. Ang sinabi mong Oedipus complex, yung son would compete with the father the attention of the mom. Yung inyong Electra complex, the mother is competing with the daughter for the attention of the dad. Okay, so that's your Oedipus complex and the Electra complex, pati po sila ng phallic stage. Okay, so this is Sigmund Freud, psychosexual development theory. Of course, the answer there would be letter B, latency po. No? Industry versus inferiority is similar to Freud's latency stage or latent stage. All right, we go to number 14. According to Erickson, at which stage does a child first develop a sense of independence? We've mentioned this a while ago. Nakakatawa yung sariling sikap, sabi ni Sir J.J. Mortab. Okay. Is it letter A, autonomy versus shame and doubt? Letter B, initiative versus guilt? Letter C, industry versus inferiority? Or letter D, trust versus mistrust? What's the answer? Yan, tama yan, Ma'am Izay. Sabi ni Ma'am Izay dito, kapag babaero pala, something rin sa genital stage. Okay, may mga hindi normal sa kanilang psychology, no? So apektado siya ng mga stages na to. So that's your number 14 na po tayo. According to Erickson, at which stage does a child first develop a sense of independence? Saan po nakaka-develop ng sense of independence? Which stage does a child first? First ha, napaka-importante yung term na first. Okay, some of you are answering letter C, others letter B. Others are also answering letter A. Let's take a look at the correct answer. Again, the question is, according to Erickson, at which stage does a child first develop a sense of independence? The correct answer here would be letter A, autonomy. Autonomy, remember, autonomy is the same as independent. Okay, independent or independence. Kaya may tinatawag na Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao, ARMM. Meron silang semi-independent sila, no? Meron silang autonomy. Okay, so autonomy, that is where the child would first develop a sense of independence. Naalala nyo kanina, sabi natin na meron siyang favorite color, meron siyang favorite na shirt, gusto niya ito lang lagi yung ginagamit, no? So that's autonomy versus shame and doubt. Siya yung unang-una until na pumunta sa initiative versus guilt, until na pumunta, of course, sa industry versus inferiority. So unang-una, napaka-importante kasi dito, a child first develop a sense of independence, letter A, is the correct answer. Number 15, why is a safe classroom environment important? Is it letter A, students learn math facts more quickly when they feel safe? Letter B, it will stop your principal from observing too much. Letter C, student test scores will improve if they feel safer. Letter D, students learn better when they feel safe. What's the answer for number 15? What do you think is the correct answer for question number 15? Again, please do send us your stars, your super chat, super stickers. Okay, please do send us your stars, super chat, super stickers. Please do send us your stars. Okay, again, the question is, why is safe classroom environment important? Bakit kailangan na safe yung classroom environment mo? Why do we need to make a safe classroom environment? Okay, why should we make our classrooms safe? What's the answer? Let's take a look at your answers for number 15. D. Karamihang sagot is letter D. And of course, that is a correct choice. Okay, students learn better when they feel safe. Yan yung unang-una, hindi lamang for math, not only for the test scores, not only for your principal observation, no, but of course, the students are our main client. Okay, so sila yung main client natin. Sila yung pinaka-importante sa loob ng ating classroom. And they learn better when they feel that they are safe. So number 15, letter D is the correct choice. Number 16, what is one strategy for ensuring physical safety? Ano yung kailangan mong gawin, or what is one strategy that you can do so that physically maging safe yung inyong environment? This is letter A, keep in close communication with families. Letter B, give your students language to describe their feelings. Letter C, help each student make a friend. Or letter D, keep your classroom neat and tidy. What's the answer for question number 16? We're almost done with our ProfEd. And of course, for tonight's live stream. What do you think is the correct answer for question number 16? Please do share our video. I-share pa rin po yung ating video. If you haven't shared our video yet, like this video, start a watch party, tag your friends, do send us your stars, and of course, send us your super chat, super stickers. Again, we have a stars goal of 5,000 stars, so please help us reach that goal. Okay, what's your answer? Karamihang sagot dito ay letter D, and that is the correct choice. Okay, so keeping your classroom neat and tidy, this would ensure that our kids are also going to feel safe. Okay, so letter D is the correct choice for number 16. Now we go to number 17. Julia, yun na si Julia, just received the exciting news that she has been accepted to a doctorate program. She then begins to think about all the details that will be involved in quitting her job and moving halfway across the country to start school in a few short months. Julia is experiencing which of the following? Is it letter A, distress, letter B, eustress, letter C, bad stress, letter D, a fight or flight response? What's the correct answer? Okay, so si Julia dito ay nakapasa sa isang doctorate program, no? Kailangan niyang lumipat. So right after knowing or learning that she passed a doctorate program, she has been accepted to a doctorate program, she then begins to think about all the details. Okay, so naging busy siya, no? She's thinking about all the details. I need to quit my job. I need to pack up. I need to do this. I need to tell my friends. I need to inform everyone. I need to get this, buy this and that. Okay, because she is going to move halfway across the country to start school in a few short months. So what is she trying to, or what is she experiencing? Is it letter A, distress, letter B, eustress, letter C, bad stress, or letter D, fight or flight response? Aha, mukhang genocide. Mukhang genocide mangyayari. Okay. Merong D, karamihan ay D, as in dog. Letter D, karamihan sagot, as in dead, as in ligwak. Okay, correct answer here is letter B. That's eustress. Eustress is the correct answer here. Now, letter B po, ang tamang sagot, hindi po letter D. Let's take a look at your next slide. According to our psychologists, no, dalawa lamang daw yung type ng stress na meron tayo. Eustress, this is a positive type of stress. No? Eu in science means true or positive. So these are positive stress, positive types of stress. It energizes you. Generally, this is short term, and this can be used to improve your performance. No? It's believed within coping mechanisms, something that we can handle. So usually if you are going to perform, for example, you're in a competition, for example, you are going to perform, you feel some stress, no? But this stress is generally short term, and this stress can improve your performance. Masyado kang OC. Okay, so this is a type of stress that we call eustress. And this stress naman is a negative type of stress. Generally, this feels unpleasant. This often depletes energy, nakakaubos ng energy mo. Short-term or long-term, decreases your performance. It is perceived outside coping mechanism, something that you cannot handle. It can lead to physical illness, mental fatigue, or emotional depletion. Okay, so these are unpleasant types of stress, no, for something that you cannot control. So this is your distress. Now, sometimes, for example, if someone dies, no, and this can really affect you a lot. Sometimes it can cause distress, maaring short-term, long-term siya. But of course, it sometimes can also lead to physical illness, mental fatigue, emotional depletion. Nauubos yung emosyon mo. Ano nga yung sabi ni Julia kay Joshua sa music video, no, naubos lang ako, no, yung something like that. So that's distress. Hindi ko lang alam if she's saying the truth, no? But of course, eustress again is positive type of stress, and distress is a negative type of stress. So si Julia doon, and na-accept siya sa isang doctorate program, and so she's very excited. I need to do this and do that and prepare everything. Okay, it's something that can improve her performance. It's something that helps her prepare for her future, no, future ng paglilipat, because she is going to start with a doctorate program. So that's eustress, positive stress. Now, ano naman yung fight or flight, no? Your fight or flight response. Physical indications of fight or flight response. Usually, we feel this whenever something happens, an emergency, meron natural calamities, may aksidente, may cardiac arrest, for example, this is your fight or flight response. So these are some physical indications of a fight or flight response. Your pupils are dilated, so that means lumalaki yung pupils mo. You have pale or flushed skin, so po pwedeng namumula ka, po pwede din namang namumutla ka, nanginginig ka, no? Or you have your rapid heartbeat and breathing. Okay, so mabilis yung kabog ng dibdib mo, no? Tibok ng puso mo, mabilis. For example, nakita mo yung boyfriend mo may kasamang iba, no? Kakba yung iba, or naka-holding hands yung iba, yung girlfriend mo may kasamang iba, no? Kita mong may kasamang iba. And so these are some of the things that you are going to feel. These are some of the physical indications that you are having your fight or flight response. And once you feel this, you actually have two choices. It's either you fight, ifa-fight mo ba yung babaeng yun, no? Susugurin mo ba? Nakikita natin sa video, sinusugod yung babae, sinasabunutan, no? Etc. Or kung lalaki man ito, aawayin mo ba? Susundukin mo ba yung lalaki? Or are you going to take a flight? That means you just leave the situation. Hayaan mo na lamang, no? So that's either fight or flight. You have two choices. Pag may sunog, no, ano yung gagawin mo? Is it the flight response? Hayaan mo na lamang masunog yung buong bahay mo, lahat ng mga naiwan mong gamit? Or are you going to fight? Are you going to get the refrigerator? Aakayin mong ikaw lamang mag-isa? Ito yung tinatawag din ng part ng adrenaline rush mo. Okay, so that's your fight or flight response. But the answer there would be eustress. Okay, so letter B, eustress po. Paubayan na lang, ma'am. Sabi ni Ma'am Joy Push. Paubayan na lang pag nakita mo may kasamang iba. So, paubayan na lang pala. Sabi ni Ma'am Joy, no? So, flight response. Okay, so number 18. The following are all goals of a student-centered approach to physical education, except letter A, increasing student motivation and ownership of goals. Letter B, fostering a desire to participate in physical activity outside of school hours. Letter C, encouraging a lifelong commitment to physical activity. Letter D, reducing the burden on teachers. What's the answer for number 18? Sabi ni Ma'am Irene Balayong, di sa kanya na. Oh, pero mukhang bitter Papaubaya na lang daw, pero mukhang may bitterness. Di sa kanya na. Ayan, sabi ni Sir Mark Toledo, mag-picture na lang daw pag may sunog, no? Stoicism. Change what you can change. Just do not attempt to change what you cannot change. Accept what you cannot change. Okay, so yan yung stoicism natin. Magpa-picture na lang sa may sunog. Okay, what's your answer for number 18? 18 na po tayo, almost done. 18D, 18 dead na naman kaya? Number 18. Okay, going back to question number 18 mo dito, these are goals of a student-centered approach. Except, okay, we are looking for the exception. Nahanap natin yung hindi student-centered, okay? Napaka-importante nakikita niyo itong except nyo. Minsan, pag nagbabasa kayo, hindi nyo nakikita yung terms na except or not, and so naliligwak yung sagot, no? Napaka-importante po nakikita nyo yan. Okay, we are looking for the goals of a student-centered approach, except we are looking for the exception. Is it letter A, increasing student motivation and ownership of goals? This is correct. This is true. Fostering a desire to participate, that's true. Encouraging a lifelong commitment to physical activity, that's correct. And so correct answer here, the exception is letter D, reducing the burden on the teachers. Okay, this is not student-centered because this is talking about your teachers. Okay, so this is talking about your teachers. And so that is the exception in our different choices here. So 18D is the correct choice. Tama. Number 19, second to the last. Which of these is the best example of good motivating feedback? Okay, we're looking for the example of good motivating feedback. Is it letter A, you'll never be a champ if you throw like that, kid? Why don't you watch a couple of videos of a pro doing it and try again tomorrow? That's a terrible way to throw a ball. You'll never become good at anything if you ever throw like that again. That's letter B. Letter C, you're doing it all wrong, sport. Or letter D, try throwing the ball like this, as it'll help you score more and you'll be on your way to being like someone famous in no time. Okay, so what's your answer? We're looking for the example of good motivating feedback. Is it A, B, C, or D? What's the choice? Okay, what's the correct choice? A, B, C, or D? Let's take a look at your answers. Again, pwede pa rin po kayo mag-send ng stars. We have our stars goal of 5,000 stars. So please do share your stars with us. Mag-send na po kayo ng inyong stars. You can also send your super chat, super sticker. If you are still not a member of our Gurong Pinoy teams, magpa-member na po kayo sa ating Gurong Pinoy team. You will receive all the PowerPoint presentation that we're using with the answers. So again, magpa-member na po kayo. We still have a few slots left, no? Konti na lamang po. We are the cheapest that you can find. I can see other review centers asking you to pay 7,000, 5,000. Okay, we're not asking you to pay that. Ours is just for our operating expenses, no? And especially, of course, we're also paying your coaches whenever we have our guest lectures. Okay, letter D, and that's the correct choice. Tama po yan. Try throwing the ball like this, as it'll help you score more, and you'll be on your way to being like Babe Ruth, for example, in no time. Okay, so we'd always try to remember that we should be using good motivating feedback. That's something that's negative. Okay, because if you are using something that's negative, remember, according to Thorndike, the law of effect. No, if something has a bad effect, the child might stop doing it. Okay, so it should always be using good, motivating feedback, positive feedback. Now, number 20, last one. Which of the following is not correct? Again, there is the term not. So which one do you think is the correct choice? A learning environment needs to be disrespectful. A learning environment needs to be free from clutter. A learning environment needs to be large enough for the class. Or a learning environment needs to be safe. What's the answer for question 20? Last item for tonight. Okay. What do you think is the correct answer for number 20? Number 20 po. Again, tomorrow, don't forget, we still start at 6 p.m., no? 6 p.m. pa rin po tayo tomorrow. And that's going to be your session 1 with Coach Abby. That's for Filipino. He is going to have 30 items with all of you tomorrow. And of course, on Sunday, that's still going to be at 6 p.m. Philippine time, still Filipino with Coach Abby. That's part 2. Okay, letter A, ang inyong sagot, ang inyong choice dito ay letter A. Which of the following is not correct? And of course, our choice here will be letter A. A learning environment needs to be disrespectful. It should be respectful, hindi po disrespectful, okay? Now, that ends tonight's discussion. That's 20 items, GenEd 10 items, and of course, ProfEd also 10 items. And we end the night, of course, with our closing prayer. So please join me and Brother Efren as we have our closing prayer.
Muli po tayong manalangin. Our great God, salamat po sa oras po na ito na ibinigay mo sa amin na naging matagumpay po ang aming pag-aaral. Sana po marami po kaming mga natutunan, O Diyos. Sana po ipatuloy mo po kaming pagpalain sa mga plano po namin, Panginoon. Ikaw po ang aming dakilang pastol at ikaw po yung naghahanda ng lugar para sa amin. Sana po maganap na po ang mga ninanais po ng aming mga puso. Alam mo po yung mga pagsisikap namin, mga sacrifices namin para matupad po ang mga pangarap po namin na ito. Sana po sa lahat po ng mga member ng Gurong Pinoy International, sana po ipagpalain mo. Lalo po, Panginoon, na malapit na po ang exam. Tibayin mo po ang aming loob. Malakasin mo po ang aming damdamin, Panginoon, na hindi po kami matakot. Sa halip, mas lalo po kaming maghanda, Panginoon. Salamat po sa sakripisyo ni Ma'am Meg at ni Sir Ram para po sa bawat isa sa amin. Panginoon, salamat po sa lahat at ibinibigay po namin lahat ng mga concern namin sa inyo. Sa pangalan ni Jesus, ito po ang aming dalangin. Amen.
Amen. Alright, so that ends tonight's live stream, tonight's discussion. Magkita-kita po tayo muli tomorrow, 6 p.m. That's with Coach Abby. Please make sure that you are in front of your devices at 6 p.m. or prior to that tomorrow night. This has been Coach Mek of Gurong Pinoy, and of course, I leave you the saying, malit man na butil ang mga kaalaman, ang dulo nito ay malaking kaginawaan. Good night, Philippines! Bye!